On March 6, 2025, those residing in the San Diego region of Southern California organized on Fletcher Parkway to demand that their congressional representative, Representative Darrell Issa, hold a town hall meeting. The 48th Congressional District of Southern California voted Darrell Issa into office by a margin of nearly 20% in the November election of 2024.
We need our congressmen to vote for what is right when it comes to saving
However,
our democracy.
by the time constituents in the San Diego area demanded that Representative Issa do what is right to preserve democracy, they were already a day late and a dollar short. Representative Darrell Issa had already introduced legislation in the House of Representatives that would expand the reach and capacity of the executive branch under Donald Trump. Let's talk about it. After being overwhelmingly voted into office by those in the San Diego area, along with financial assistance from his top contributor, AIPAC, or the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Representative Darrell Issa on February 24, 2025, introduced H.R. 1526, or as it's come to be known in the halls of Congress, the No Rogue Rulings Act of 2025. Despite his constituents wanting him to preserve democracy as well as the rule of law, which makes their lives possible, Representative Issa instead moved in a direction that would increase both the capacity as well as the authority of the executive branch under Donald Trump. H.R. 1526 proposes that, quote, no district court shall issue any order providing for injunctive relief except in the case of such an order that is applicable only to limit the actions of the party to the case before such district court with respect to the party seeking injunctive relief from such district court. Stated differently, H.R. 1526 seeks to constrain the federal judiciary in such a way that federal judges no longer have capacity to order an injunction that can help potentially thousands of people at one time, particularly if a given order from the administration is unconstitutional. Instead, if there is a constitutional violation, each and every person who experiences that violation has to file an individual lawsuit to have their complaint heard. The resulting impact is that courts become backlogged and the Trump administration will be able to continue in various potentially unconstitutional acts because backlogging the courts prevents cases from being heard in a timely manner. Accordingly, the Trump administration will be able to leverage process as punishment because the caseload will become unmanageable. Importantly, the American Civil Liberties Union warns that H.R. 1526 limits courts' ability to control abuses of power that may emerge from the executive branch of the government. In other words, while several political commentators and legal experts have warned of a United States wherein Donald Trump is handed a blank check to do what he pleases, H.R. 1526 seeks to make that warning real. H.R. 1526 presents a serious risk to the nation. An example, if you're on the right side of the aisle, if the Trump administration decided that arms had to be submitted to the government immediately, H.R. 1526 makes this hypothetical a possible reality. In order for an individual to retain their right to own their arms by way of H.R. 1526, each and every person impacted would have to file a lawsuit and wait their turn in the legal process. Federal judges would be constrained from issuing a blanket injunction to protect the rights of those in the nation. In another example, the Trump administration could theoretically demand the arrest of those who protest against the administration, despite First Amendment rights. Each and every person would have to file an individual lawsuit to have their rights acknowledged and protected in court, even as they wait in jail, provided their incarceration takes place in the United States. Importantly, H.R. 1526 provides the pathway whereby which the administration may begin to strip birthright citizenship despite its constitutionality. Again, those impacted will have to seek individual injunctive relief because H.R. 1526 prevents federal judges from issuing a nationwide injunction. H.R. 1526 takes on a heightened concern when it is taken into consideration that the present administration has discussed placing U.S. troops on the ground here in the United States. Though those in the San Diego area are demanding a town hall and are demanding that Representative Issa do what is right for the nation, H.R. 1526 passed in the House of Representatives by a tight vote of 219 to 213. To be clear, the implications of H.R. 1526 cannot be overstated. It is the bill which grants the executive arm of the government unfettered power and authority. In other words, it is the means whereby which an authoritarian rule would be ensured. By way of further example, if H.R. 26 were to pass, the Trump administration could theoretically issue an executive order that he will run for a third term and or serve a third term without an election due to an alleged national crisis, a clear unconstitutional act. However, because of the processes of H.R. 1526 and what the bill requires, not only would the court battle be lengthy, but it will also require a 3-judge panel. Conveniently, Donald Trump stacked the federal judiciary during his first term. When we think of the capacity of H.R. 1526, Donald Trump's words on the campaign trail during the 2024 election season suddenly make a lot more sense.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christian.
H.R. 1526 has now been forwarded to the Senate for the process of negotiations, debate, as well as an eventual vote. Importantly, Republicans currently hold the majority in the Senate. While the Trump administration has successfully flooded the zone, as Steve Bannon has stated, it is imperative that we not only pay attention to what happens with H.R. 1526, but that we also reach out to our Senate representatives as well as talk to others about the reality of the implications of this bill. Please be sure to like, comment, as well as share this particular report, because H.R. 1526 is exactly the concern that many have warned of. Watch this space, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.